Greetings, YouTube. In today's video, we have two Broadway Limited F7 B units. This one, the Northern Pacific, is unpowered, and this one, the Santa Fe, is powered. Now, the goal for today is to switch these around so that the Northern Pacific is powered and the Santa Fe is unpowered. To explain a little better why I want to do this, let's go downstairs to the layout. Okay, so let me explain the backstory about what I'm doing. For starters, this is the close representation of the North Coast Limited. And I'm actually looking for a diner car and maybe an observation car. So even as it is, this single locomotive is not enough to power that. And the B unit that came with it, unfortunately, is unpowered. Now, this is a fast commuter train. It's just 3 cars. And this is a Genesis F7 here, and it has absolutely no problems pulling this consist. In fact, this is the fastest passenger train I have. I've clocked it at almost 100 miles per hour, which is probably a little bit above and beyond prototypical. So my goal is to put the unpowered B unit here and the powered A unit here. So let's see if we can make that happen. Okay, so the most obvious thing would be just to put this body on this chassis and this body on this chassis. Unfortunately, the fuel tank and the side truck covers are silver on here and black on this one. Now, I'm really hoping that I don't actually have to take all the motor and everything and all this electronics out of this one, that I can just replace. The fuel tank look like they're held on by 4 screws here in the corners. I think that's going to be easy. And the trucks, I don't know if I'm going to have to change out the whole... What is the... There's like oil dripping. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? Yeah, somebody like massively over-oiled this. Okay, so back to what I was saying. I'm hoping that I can just take the side frames and swap those out. If not, maybe I'll have to take the whole truck off. We will see. And you will learn right along with me because I have never done this before. Okay, so I'm going to start by taking off the fuel tank here. And, oh, that's black. You may not be able to see it. There are 4 Phillips screws in each of the corners. So let's see what that gets us. Okay, that is exactly what I was hoping for. All these 4 screws, just remove that. So I think that's going to be the easiest part of everything here. Now on these trucks. I'm going to go ahead and take one of the trucks off just to kind of see what... if I can figure out how that is all held together. For that, these are... I don't know if there's really a speaker in here, why they have this. Let's see what this is exactly. Okay, no, that's just a little... This is just a plastic cap here. That's where the speaker would go if it had speakers. So take that off and set it aside. Now, it has 4 holes here, but there were only 2 screws. This one does have 4 screws. Interesting. Maybe somebody's taken this apart before? I'm not sure. And so it looks like to get the truck out, looks like to get the truck out, and this is so hard to see because it's black. Sorry about that. I think you have to snap this piece off, kind of like an Athearn blue box. There's some snaps here on the side that you can't see. I'm sorry. There's snaps. There's 2 snaps on either side here, and I think if I just pry this. Okay, so I was correct about this just snapping off. Now let's take a good look at these trucks here and see how the sides come off. I'm gonna go ahead and take this apart just to see what we've got. They're just 2 snaps on either side like that, and this comes off. Yeah, okay, so the trucks, okay, so the trucks come apart, these side frames, you just kind of like that. And I don't think I'm even going to have to take them off of the chassis in order to do that. However, I'm thinking this metal part here will also have to exchange because this is going to be connected to power on the other one. So I'm going to have to take that off also, which seems to just slide. It kind of slides on over this post. The bearing surface here for the electrical pickup seems to just slide on with this metal post right here. So you just got to slide it up off that. I think we'll be fine. Maybe. Okay, so it took a little bit of finesse, but yes, this metal deal right here just slides down. Let's get a zoom in here. Okay, so this metal guy right here just slides down on top of that post like that. So I think I just need to finish taking this apart, and I did not, taking this part, the bottom off here was not necessary, so I'm going to go ahead and just snap that back on. That way everything isn't going to fall apart on me here. And I should be able to just slide this. Now I should be able to just take the side frame off just by like that, I think. Yeah. Maybe. Okay. Rewind what I just said about not having to take this off. These tabs right here, these go through and stick through these tabs here and here, go through right here and hold that all together. So you do have to take this bottom part off to take the side off. All right, so I've got these side frames off of one. Now let's go ahead and take a look at this. I'm hoping I don't have to actually take the trucks out of here in order to do this, but we will see. I might have to. So I'm going to unsnap that. Yeah, somebody over-oiled this pretty badly. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry if I didn't quite get that on camera. This side frame just came off nicely, and because this has a wire attached to it, it just kind of stayed on here. So I'm just going to go ahead and attempt to put the black one there we go. So now we have a black on one side, silver on the other. Cool. Okay, So there we have black side frames, and now I'm going to snap this back on. Ha, just like that. And once again, this fuel tank is held on by 4 screws here, 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 and here. So I'm going to go ahead and just take that off as such. And now continuing with this truck. Yeah, somebody put way too much oil on this. I'm going to stop and clean this up because I'm getting oil on my fingers. I'm afraid I'm going to get it on other stuff. Okay, got the oil cleaned off of that and off my fingers. Now let's get this out of here. Okay, so now when putting the unpowered trucks back on there, I think you still need to have so when putting the unpowered trucks back together, you still need to have this metal thing here because I think that's what that's the bearings that these that the axles ride in. So you can't leave that out. And then let's see here. So I'm putting the silver ones on here. I think. Okay, yeah, that worked there. I think it might help to put the put this metal piece on here first. And so it would go like this. Yeah, because this thing is a little tricky getting that over that post, so it just doesn't really like to go. There it goes. It's still on. Yeah. Yeah, I would suggest putting the metal pickup thing into the truck before you try to stick the truck onto, or the side frame of the truck onto the truck. Yes, that works much better. This on here as such. Perfect. Yeah, you got to kind of be patient when you're putting this metal thing back on there. You don't want to break this plastic post here off. But it's a real tight fit. Okay, so this truck is reassembled, and now I will put it back into the chassis. Now, I did not need to take that out, so if you're doing the same job, you won't have to go through this step. Now, there's a pin, and it's black, so it's going to be hard to see. There's a pin right here that has to go into this little hole right there. So, like that. And then this clips right on top of here, I think. Yes, just like that. And now for the silver fuel tank. I've got this flipped around. It goes like this. So here's the fuel tank. 4 screws in each corner. As such. Excellent. So this should be our completely finished, unpowered B unit with all the silver gear. And the wheels still spin really nice. Trucks pivot very freely. Should be no issues there. Couplers seem fine. All there is to do is snap the chassis back on it. Ignore the F on here. I got that backwards. That's actually the back. I think this right here, you can see how this has these. That's the front. I don't know how I managed to mess that up. Oh, wait. One more thing has to go back on first. I almost forgot. This. Okay, now the unpowered chassis should be good. So I should be able to reattach. Sure nothing's hitting. Perfect. Okay, halfway done. Okay, that doesn't fit because it's upside down. Oof. Yeah, watch this video and see what not to do as much as what to do. Okay, so the truck side frames are on. Now this thing, let's just snap on and hold everything together. And now just for the fuel tank. All right, now the powered unit should be done. Okay, before I do anything else like snap the shell back on this, I am going to make sure that it works. And since this shell has no numbering that I can find, I have no idea what this decoder address is programmed to. So I'm going to go over and hit this on the programming track and see. Yeah, I'll do the programming track part next. Okay, so here we are on the programming track. This is the new B unit we just started working on, and then I ran downstairs and I grabbed the A unit just in case we need it for programming. I'm not sure why, I just thought it would be a good idea to have it up here. Anyway, okay, so we've got this on this is the active programming track. It's connected here. So we're gonna go into Decoder Pro and I'm going to hit identify. Now this probably won't come up with anything. Okay, yeah, no roster entry found. So that's expected. This roster entry right here is the other one, the A unit. What do I want to do here? Okay, so I think I'm going to hit new loco. And then I am going to do read type from decoder. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that what we have here is this one with the rolling thunder deal. And okay, so it's showing me that the active address is 3. That's what I really wanted to find out from this. Okay, so okay, so what I typically do when I have an A-B unit that are always going to be run together, I don't do any kind of like fancy consisting or anything like that. I just program them both with the same address, and I make sure they have the same um, I make sure they have like all the same CV values. That way they run the same. If I do have to go in and make adjustments, then I'll make changes to that, but I find it's very rare. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cancel out of all this that we've got. Let's just not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this current. This is the profile I have for the A unit. Sorry if this is getting complicated. Okay. This was previously read off of the A unit, and I am going to reprogram the B unit to be exactly like that. So here's how I'm going to do that. I'm going to select this one, and I'm going to come down here to program, and that's going to bring up this. Now, for some reason, Decoder Pro has almost nothing that you can do on, wait a minute. Yeah, on the, see how it just says this tab is empty, this tab is empty. It's just, they might have their own programmer, or I don't know, because very few things, there's a list of CVs here, and this is like all the CVs that you can, program on this, I guess. Maybe you have to have a separate, I don't know. Somebody put in the comments below. I've never done this before. So basically what I want to do is I want to come over here to basic, and I want to set this locomotive to be exactly like that one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here and I'm going to say write full sheet. That is going to change the long address and this stuff to, so they're both the same. So I'm going to write full sheet. Okay, so now hopefully the B unit is also programmed with the same road number as the A unit. Now the next thing I'm going to do is you can go in here to CVs, and I want to compare to see if some of this stuff is different. So I'm going to hit right here, compare full sheet. And that's going to come through here, and if, So some of these are different. 131, 132. Okay. The BLI manual tells what all these things are. So I'm going to pause the video here, and I'm going to read and see if these things are important or not, and then I'll come back and let you know. I'm back. I checked the owner's manual, and these three here have to do with lighting effects, and since the B unit doesn't have any lights, that doesn't matter. And these two here are like volume for some of the sounds that I'll probably never use anyway, so I'm not real worried about any of that. That means I think we should be ready to go downstairs and run it on the layout. Okay, so we are back downstairs on the layout, and I have the unpowered B unit here added into the Santa Fe train. I think it looks pretty good. It is a little bit different between the Genesis and the Broadway. Try and point out some of the differences here on the side. I believe that the shiny stainless steel here is shinier on the Athearn unit. I don't know if you can tell. It's just not quite as shiny. The details here, I think, are a little bit... The wire here on these grab irons is a little bit finer. And here with the little handle on the door, it's actually a separately applied piece, whereas over here, it's just molded in. Everything else looks just about the same. This does have a sprung diaphragm here, whereas the Genesis does not. The top is where the differences are significant. If you notice the fan difference between here and here, that's really noticeable. Also, like the little lift rings here, they're just a little more, they're smaller, a little more detailed here on the Genesis unit. This also, if you notice, has a steam generator. If you're not familiar with that feature, when diesels first came out, when they were going to pull passenger cars, they had to the passenger cars, like these older passenger cars, would have their heating and cooling was provided by the steam from the steam locomotive. There were steam pipes that ran through all the cars. So when you had the diesels come out, you needed to have a steam generator for heating and cooling. However, it's not important in this train because these cars have built-in HVAC. I believe that's what some of these grills here on the side are for. So I think it's going to be a fine addition to this train. The only thing that's really noticeable in the differences are these fans, and I'll just have to get in here with some paint. I will eventually get in here and do some weathering on the top. I don't care how much you wash this thing. This right by this diesel exhaust stack is going to be black and sooty. So eventually I'll get this with the airbrush. Until then, I think it's going to be just fine. We can let it go here. So great, that was the easy part. Now, I have both the A and B unit here, and I want to see how close they are in speed to make sure one isn't like, significantly faster or slower than the other one. You don't want them fighting too much. So here we're gonna go forward a little bit, see what happens. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, I've cleared the main line. So we have nothing but green ahead, and I'm gonna let it go. That's speed step 50. When it goes through the speed trap in the other room, we'll figure out what the scale miles per hour is on that. Okay, so in here is where I was having problems before. It was stalling about over here. This room, unfortunately, was only big enough that I could get a 34-inch radius in here. Now you can see it's even slowing down there. This is the hardest section of the whole layout. Oh, that's success already. Before it would have stalled completely at that point right there. Oh, yes. Yes, this is just what I wanted. I'm really excited about this. So this is speed step 50, and that supposedly is 20 scale miles per hour. I'm gonna go ahead and let it rip. See what kind of speed we can get. Much better, 65 miles an hour. Oh, that's way better. That's so much better. Okay, I'm gonna floor it here, see what happens. And what do we have? Yes! 89.07 miles per hour. Before, the fastest this thing could do was like just under 60. So we have made a huge improvement here. Okay, I am going to slow it down a little bit because the speed limit on the main line here is 80 miles an hour, so we'll drop it back to, let's go with like 110. Perfect, that's just about right. So speed step 110, 70, so this is a good cruising speed right here. Okay, so I think this is a total success. I'm gonna set up the tripod and let's run some trains. Here's with the sound off.